Jake Mace with JakeMace.com. Thanks for coming in here to my YouTube channel. There's 3 questions that you guys who email me at JakeMace.com have been asking me about. And one of those 3 questions that I get more than almost any other question is, Jake, how do I find a martial arts school? Or how do I find a good martial art teacher? It's one of those 2 variations of that question. This is a really important question because everybody that is interested in putting their time and effort into training the martial arts, everybody wants to find a good school and a good teacher. Very few people want to be involved with a Cobra Kai style of school. Everybody wants to find a Mr. Miyagi. So how do you do it? How do you find a teacher, and how do you find a school that's worth putting your time, effort, and money into practicing with? Well, there's a few tips that I have which I'll tell you right now. Number 1, when you're looking for a martial arts school or a martial arts style, you may ask yourself, should I do Taekwondo? Should I do Krav Maga? Should I do Muay Thai? Should I do Kung Fu? Should I do Karate? Should I do MMA? What I think is important is to do any of those. The teacher is the most important part. The art and the style doesn't really matter all that much. They all teach very similar fundamentals. They all teach very similar philosophy. They all teach very similar basics. And since each of those styles of martial arts is humans fighting humans, we each have 2 arms and 2 legs. So each martial arts style has similar moves. But the teacher, you guys, is the most important part. Judge the teacher. If the teacher is fun, and the teacher is honest, and the teacher is hardworking, if the teacher is in good shape, and the teacher is able to convey his or her material well to the student, and most importantly, if the teacher has a good moral compass that is equal to the moral compass that you live by. Judge the teacher in those ways, and if the teacher is good, your experience will be good, and your martial arts style will be good. When I first went to China, when I was 19 years old, I told one of my family friends, who was also my baseball coach, at the time he was also my boss. I was working construction during the summers while I was going to school. And I told him, hey, Mr. Angeloni, that was his name, Mr. Angeloni. I said, I know that you're a master of karate, because he had done karate for many decades. And I asked him, what should I do for martial arts practice when I go to China? Because I was about to study Mandarin Chinese for a semester in China. And he said, whoa, you're going to China? That's incredible. He goes, just take martial arts. It doesn't matter what style. Just take it and you'll have a blast. And that was the best advice I ever got. So when I went to Beijing and I went to the university there, I just got involved in a martial art class at the university. What Mr. Angeloni didn't know is I had already been studying Chinese Kung Fu for a few years at that point. So, but his advice of just have a blast and study any martial art was good advice. Just get your feet wet and get in there and find a good teacher. Now, let me tell you some things to look out for. What I have discovered in my experience, there's a few things to watch out for when you go into a martial arts school. Number 1, watch out for contracts. If a martial arts school tries to sucker you in to signing a long-term contract where you're forced to pay, I wouldn't join that school. Number 2, watch out for a martial arts school that charges a very low monthly fee, but then charges you for every other little thing that you have to do in the school. For instance, the monthly fee is very affordable and very low. Maybe they're the cheapest school in town. But then there's testing for belts. Then there's buying a uniform. Then there's paying for a belt. Then there's special workshops or special seminars that you have to take if you want to advance. That costs money. Then there's special instructor training you have to pay for. There might be private lessons to pay for. There might be out-of-state instructors coming in that are going to teach workshops that you have to go to. And guys, all this stuff adds up. Before long, you're broke and you have no money left, and they're still trying to get more money out of you. So be aware and be concerned with contracts, but also be concerned with somebody who tries to get you in for a cheap fee and then nickel and dime you for everything else you do in the dojo. Number 3, I want you to also be concerned when you go to a school to watch out if the school is run like a cult or not. Many martial arts schools can become very culty, and what I mean by this is the hierarchy within the school can become like a religion or like a cult, and it really scares me because what happens is that a lot of the bowing, a lot of the uniform, a lot of the belt rank becomes very cultish, and respect is forced to be given to those who are higher ranked than you. And in my opinion, people should just be cool, and respect should flow through them without having to force people to bow when a question is answered, or bow when advice is given, or bow as you enter the school, bow as you leave the school, bow as the form begins, bow as the form ends, bow as you enter the training floor, bow as you leave the training floor. You bow when you see a master you haven't seen in a long time. You bow when you leave the master's presence. Oh, it's just so much bowing and so much tradition that a teacher who has a bad moral compass can use that to become the leader of a cult. Within this cult-like mentality in the martial art environment, some teachers will say this. They'll say, we don't want to charge money for our classes because we think the world should have access to knowledge. But we have to charge money because if we don't, then the students will not respect it. I think that's a load of crapola. I think that if you want to charge for your classes, then do so and make it affordable and make it so that the student gets a good value, but your business and your school can also continue and there's respect for business owner and student. But the minute you start trying to feed your students the load of crap that is, this material should be free, but we have to charge for it or else they won't respect it, that screams cult to me. Not to mention a lot of the movements and breathing techniques within the martial art environment could be seen as a culty activity. So I'm not saying all martial arts are cults, but just you have to maintain the ability to think critically, because once you're in that environment, you're the newbie, and it's very hard to defend yourself mentally within the confines of the dojo or of the school. That's all I have to say for this video. Let's recap. I want you guys to have a really good martial art experience. So just get involved with a martial arts school. Don't overthink it. Train any style and just have fun. But instead of judging the style, make sure you judge the teacher. If the teacher is fun and honest, get involved. If the classes are affordable, get involved. Watch out for cults. Watch out for too much bowing. Watch out for too many extra fees. Definitely watch out for contracts. Smile, breathe, have fun, get involved, and start your journey down the rabbit hole of the martial arts. Like this video for me, subscribe to our channel, check us out at jakemace.com, send me an email at jakemace.com of a question you have, get involved with my Twitter at Kung Fu Universe, get involved with my Instagram at Jake Mace Tai Chi, and like me on Facebook at facebook.com/Jake Mace, then a dot, and then Tai Chi, and also post a comment below the video. Make sure you guys punch the thumbs up button. I'll see you guys back here for our next video at our Shaolin Center YouTube channel next time.